as well.
Well, we'll find out. So far, you are 3 for 3, Deficio. Still some time ticking away, and just want to highlight that Varus really quickly. Power of Evil was responsible for 47.4% of his team's total damage in Game 1. For contrast, during the playoffs, he's been responsible for 31% of his team's damage. If Power of Evil is playing well, I don't know if Fnatic can shut him down. There's the Morgana, the Hecarim, and the Annie. Close, but they've left the Varus up.
Yeah, left that one up. But that was only just like, if you don't know what to do against it, you could potentially ban it away. But there are other picks for Power of Evil that does the same. For the Unicorns of Love, it's more about adjusting your playstyle from Fnatic. They had the right idea going into that Dragon fight. They got the flank with Huni from the teleport, and it looked pretty good for Fnatic suddenly because they got the right fights. They didn't allow them to sit and poke until that Baron thing happened. I think the Rend from Kalista came in way too early, allowing Kikis also to get the steal on it, and that just completely turned the game on its head, and Unicorns of Love took 5 more minutes and they won the game.
While seeing Unicorns locking in Gragas as their first pick, they could have gone for a similar team composition from Game 1.
Yeah, but take away Sivir.
The takeaway.
You have to.
Steelback's undefeated. 2 games played, 2 victories, and that was such an integral part of the engage-disengage power that Unicorns had.
Which was one of the things they were lacking in the last game, which they normally don't. So by taking Sivir here, you secure a lot of utility for your team, and I think it's a good call. Jinx is open for Vardax, but as we talked about here, he prefers to play that with Morgana or Thresh. So unless they lock in both, we might see something completely new from Vardax, because he's obviously been expecting potential focus around these AD carries because he's played so few in the playoffs. Obviously, teams will look towards it. If they go for it, there it is.
Well, Thresh Jinx, it was first picked by Fnatic last round.
Yeah.
Interesting to see 2 bans on supports and leaving the Thresh up.
I would have left Annie up.
Considering that there was a jungle pick locked in for Kikis on the Gragas, got to question why the Rek'Sai was locked so early. Regardless, let's see what Fnatic go with the rest of picks and bans.
What we have seen from them quite a lot, honestly, is they run Sivir with the likes of Nautilus or Alistar even, if they want some sort of engage to follow up with the Sivir ultimate. And if Rumble gets locked in as well, this is just a composition that dives onto your backline, onto your Jinx, and says, well, you don't have a Janna to knock us all away. Thresh can put up a box, but that's about it when it comes to properly peeling against multiple members. It's going to be very tough to defend Vardax unless we get more peel for them. Gragas can offer some quite strong disengage. Power of Evil likes to play Orianna, where he focuses a lot on shielding his AD carry, protecting him in the late game teamfights. This is a composition Unicorns ran against SK Gaming, which with honestly quite some success because it got him into the final.
Well, we'll see if they can do it again, because Huni's Rumble, it is his most played champion. 7 games this split, was banned out the entirety of the semi-finals, and we saw just how effective O2-1 there was yesterday on Rumble for the first time. Those sniping backlines with a greedy build. Huni responsible for more team assists out of any other top laner in the league. He's got his signature champion. We've seen the Mad Bomber. He's back. Not the first time, but it'll be the first time here in Europe.
Yeah, once again, he was played in Korea. From CG Enters, Coco pulled it out. That was as a counter pick as well to a Cassiopeia, which is not in this game here. This is to offer more zone control. The reason people like Ziggs again, well, Athene's got buffed at 5.6. His mana cost on Q went down, so it's a bit easier for him. There's some good changes in terms of his early wave clear. And then he offers a lot of zone control because of the minefield coming in, the satchel as well, to protect your AD carry. So now, what you have is a Sion who can sit with his Q, create a massive zone you don't want to step into, because then you get knocked up into the air. You have a Gragas with his ulti and the CC to simply disengage from you. Everything here is built around, let's protect the Jinx in these team fights. We have so much zone control. Fnatic will, though, be able to pull off a Twisted Fate gold card, Hourglass after, obviously, to stay alive, and then just Rumble ulti into a Nautilus ulti. Everything pile on to the backline here of Unicorns of Love. So once again, we got Kite on one side from the Unicorns. It's a style they like to play. We got all in from Fnatic.
Deficio, TLDR, Unicorns of Love want to control zones. Fnatic want to try get past it with the Equalizer Twisted Fate ulti. Maybe a Sivir ulti.
They want to try and reach the backline.
We'll have to see which team can pull it off. 3 out of the 4 mid lane picks we've seen in these 2 games are the first time that we've seen them here in the playoffs. Twisted Fate for the first time in Febiven's hands. We'll need to see how he handles himself.
Yeah, and we need to see what Power of Evil can do on a Ziggs. Same style of champion, long range poke, from him, a lot of zone control, as we said time and time again now. Unicorns are going to play exactly the same way. There's not going to be any change for them in the way they want to set up the sieging, the way they want to set up team fights. Proper vision control. Cannot allow Fnatic to get the flanks, because then your carries will die in the back.
It was great to see both of the coaches. They're smiling as they left the stage. Ziggs for Power of Evil. There are your team comps, guys. You know what to do. Unicorns of Love are the fan favorites. But I feel like there is less weaknesses in Fnatic's team composition. We'll see if that proves to be the case. We load up onto the Rift. Game 2 of the Spring Split Finals. There is the Mad Ice Bomber himself. He's underneath the fat man, I promise.
It's hiding there somewhere. This comp as well from the Unicorns is so focused on being able to fast push towers. Ziggs and his passive, it stacks up, or I guess like a massive amount of bonus damage on a tower. Add in a Jinx with their insane amount of attack speed. If they ever get just a few seconds on one of the turrets from Fnatic, it goes down. So they have so many ways where they land a lot of poke once again, force Fnatic away, and just take your tower before you can even react. This might be trouble for Vardex. It's gonna run straight into the Yellow Star.
That's a flash route. Gold card goes out, but that was trading flash for flash. Yellow Star threw out that dredge line. Vardex, an immobile AD carry, now without his flash. What can Fnatic, and more importantly, that man Reignover, do with that information? We will find out shortly.
He's setting up to start on the top side, which means he's going to do his red buff, go down and take blue, so he will be on the bottom side with double buffs. As long as he's healthy enough, he can go in for the first gank. Also means one of the wards from the Unicorns of Love, if they want to start pushing this lane, has to be invested into the river. And in that small bush from the bottom side, so Reignover won't be able to just tunnel over the wall and get an easy gank. But that's, I mean, it's a problem, because you also need to control around the dragon, otherwise a Reignover or a Rek'Sai, sorry, will just tunnel over that. So there's so many small gaps you gotta close. The Rift Scuttler, we could potentially see Kikis try and rush down and clear it just to save his AD carry from an early gank.
Well, we'll see if Kikis does decide to do that. Krug started off here for Vardex and Hillsong, going to get themselves to level 2. Seems to be equaled by Steelback and Yellow Star. Huni, looks like he got a bit of a freeze on the top lane there. No opposite number, as Vizichachi doing his standard Scion start, starting off on a camp.
Yeah.
Vizichachi, arguably the best Scion in Europe.
I think he is. Odo Amne's up there, close, but Vizichachi's been pulling off some insane ultis.
Nobody else has got a double kill wallbang at the Baron pit.
Oh, I mean, we can rewatch that 200 times. What Huni did in the top lane here was fairly smart. He decided to freeze the wave because you know Chachi's coming up as level 2, so you don't want the wave pushing down and then risk being zoned when you're only level 1. That's why he pushed it back. Yeah, early level 2. Nautilus does have some decent early damage as a support at least.
It's not
horrible damage as a jungler.
It's not Hook City that we used to reference the Thresh into Blitzcrank. But Thresh into Nautilus, there's going to be a lot of hooks going around. A lot of super mega death everythings with the Ziggs and a Jinx.
Early gank mid lane from Yellow Star. They fast pushed the wave with the Sivir. Reignover's here as well. Power of Evil. We have to be careful. Let's see if he got the satchel.
Well, I think he can. He's flashed away. He does get insta-flash. Gold card comes up, but not before the satchel charge.
Into the tower! No flash!
Throws himself under the tower. He's got no flash, remember. The barrel's going to slow him. Gold card comes up, lands on to kick his punch. Yellow Star will be able to get away. And there is one of the drawbacks of the dredge line hook. If you don't hit your target, you will go like Spider-Man into the object you're stuck to.
And while they got the flash in the mid lane, it also meant the early push didn't really do a whole lot for Fnatic on the bottom side. Jinx has gotten to push it back. He has Kikis around. He's the deep wards as well, and the Rift Scuttler are going to be taken from Kikis. So now they've suddenly established a lot of wards on this bottom side. Should be able to keep Vardex safe, despite not having a flash from that level 1, but they're obviously trading it for the flash and Power of Evil.
There's the Scuttle Crab secured on the bottom half of the map, as you mentioned a moment or two, Deficio. The rest of the lane starting to shave up. Yellow Star with that Nautilus roam. It's going to hurt Steelback's farming. Currently on 13, and the fact that he had to back. And Steelback's been alone in that lane. And there's a minion way for him to farm up, but we need to keep track of that, considering it was Vardex that lost his flash early.
Yeah, Fnatic has to be able to punish the Ziggs in mid lane. Now that they use so much on getting his flash beforehand, sacrificing farm and vision on one side of the map, Power of Evil probably is looking to push it in and go back and get his chalice. Second gang from Reignover. He is spotted by Chachi, but he's still pretty far out. See if they can force anything.
See what they can do. No flash for Reignover. Chachi does flash. There goes the charge and the decimating smash. Doesn't get the knock-up, though. Successful gank because Huni was both under pressure and they got Chachi's flash. And every time we look at those HP bars, Huni's actually been bullied quite extensively. But I think a little bit of praise to Reignover. Successful ganks in both middle and top before 5 minutes had even ticked over.
And smart adaptation, saying, okay, I'm not going to go bottom lane. They will spot me, so I swap it up instead. And obviously forcing the summons. A good little start for Reignover. Already gone back with the skirmishes Saber, which is a tradition here in Europe. Pretty much all our junglers, they just go skirmishes Saber every game. Kikis likes it on Gragas. It helps him early on if he does get invaded on in the one-on-one, and also late game he likes it to try and shut down one of the carries.
I think it might have something to do with subliminal messaging. The championship logo for the LCS in Europe is a red banner, is a red flag.
So we have to take the red jungle item.
The red jungle item. We figured it out. This is next level analysis, everybody.
So what about that blue potion for Chachi?
No, it's only for jungle items.
Okay.
Yeah, we're drawing a line there, but let's look at the bottom lane. 10 CS down, Steelback and Yellowstar being shoved in by Vardax. Vardax just gets his flash available. We'll need to see whether or not Yellowstar and Steelback can regain control, seeing as though this lane may actually play into their favor for the next couple of waves.
Well, what the Unicorns are looking for is hit level 6, go back with Vardax, get a BF sword, and then you have Hylissang connect one hook, you pull them in, you put down a trap, you put down the box, and then you get them so low because they're chain CC'd for such a long time that you will get that one-shot potential, or the execute potential from the Jinx to get the kill.
Well, I do want to touch on those stats at the top lane. Chachi on his signature top lane tank Sion. Huni on... Honestly, Huni on the champion that made him famous. His rumble in the opening weeks of the spring split was so incredible. It has been banned out 11 times out of the team's respective 24 games. This is now 25. It is actually the most banned champion against Fnatic. And we'll see which one is going to accrue another loss today.
Let's see what Yellowstar wants to do. Unicorns of Love has a habit of placing pink wards in the river when they're a little bit weaker in the early game in terms of the jungle matchup, and they can't really contest them too well. And it's very easy for teams to clear them out. So Yellowstar just walked up, saw the ward, knew there was no real threat for him to just clear it out. And that's a lot of gold invested from the Unicorns, not gaining a whole lot. They tend to adapt, though, if it happened a few times, and then place defensive pink wards just in their own entrance to their jungle, and have the green wards in the river, which are harder to clear out for Fnatic, obviously, and use that as a tool of vision. Now, we are going to go kill the Ziggs.
There is a flash in just a couple of seconds for Power of Evil. Satchel charge. Will it be enough this time? The Mega Inferno Bomb comes out. This time round, Yellowstar finds his man. First blood! Goes to Huni. I was speaking to the Spanish casters earlier, Deficio, and they were saying the fan favorites are the Unicorns of Love. He did respond to that invade, forcing Yellowstar's flash, but first blood on the board to the carry top laner of Fnatic.
Good little roam for them. They've been consistently pushing the lanes the last few minutes, whenever they could, at least in the bottom lane, and Yellowstar didn't roam, and they just do it to open up for him to walk away from that lane here. They don't care about sacrificing farm at the moment for Steelback, because there are multiple damage sources on the side of Fnatic with Rumble, Twisted Fate, even Rek'Sai in this situation. So they have other options than just an AD carry. That's why they don't mind putting him a bit behind. Also, he's on Sivir, so he can add a lot of value just with his ulti. And you just try to snowball your Twisted Fate, because the Twisted Fate that gets the advantage, that gets to push you down, suddenly you have pressure in every single lane just because of your ulti. That's what they're aiming for. Will have it ready for Fibman. Hasn't used it yet.
That's also something we haven't actually touched on. It is something that we talk about a lot when TF is in the game. The impact of the globals. The fact Reignover's got Void Rush, the Destiny, and the TP on Huni. Fnatic will have a lot of options once Febiven starts impacting the side lanes.
Yeah, and they are a team who really shine when it comes to taking or making these quick decisions with their globals, and they're not afraid of sacrificing anything if they give them some kills. They don't care about losing a tower if they get 2 or 3 kills for it on the important members. The warding here for Unicorns is very smart, but let's talk about that after.
Like this teleport comes in from Huni. Lantern goes up and Kikis flashes over the wall. Here comes Power of Evil trying to lob some bombs. The barrel from Kikis will keep him alive.
Oh.
But Steelback sniping Kikis with the boomerang blade. We do see Vardax is now in trouble. Equalizer's gonna affect his impact. Look at Reignover coming to the jungle. Hooney's going to tank this up for a little while. Super Mega Death Rocket goes out. Featherman takes a chunk. Hooney's on the board again. Lantern is going to pull Power of Evil into Reignover. At the end of the day, Fnatic are going to get themselves more kills. So close. But Fnatic get the kills, they get the buffs, and they get the dragon.
Yeah. Funny how we just talk about these global for Fnatic and then they pull the trigger. Oh, that was a bit closer than it should have been. But what we saw happen there was Kickers and Hylissang walking in together, despite not knowing, okay, can Fnatic collapse on us? And as soon as they showed themselves in the jungle, well, Fnatic pulled the trigger, got a few kills, got the dragon. Will lose tower or top tower. Just like we said, they don't care about losing a tower as long as they get some kills.
So Fnatic in a great position, 2-0 on Hooney's Rumble.
Well, I guess next time they're gonna lose.
It'll go down eventually.
He's gonna push it in again and again.
But look at this, flash is available for Power of Evil. No flash for Reignover from the previous fight, so he doesn't go in. Keep in mind, Destiny was used.
And let's look at the warding. Oh, let's see the hook first.
That's a great death sentence. Hylissang follows it in, but I don't know if he wants this fight. Flame Chompers is going to connect with Yellow Star. Depth charge not available as Yellow Star is not yet hit 6. 1 or 2 more minions will get it. There is the Void Rush coming into the jungle. Depth charge goes out. Hylissang lands the hook, but I think he's the one that's going to get hooked. The Steelback gets himself his second kill of the game. 4-0 to Fnatic. The Fisher, they may even want a tower dive.
Well, why not? It's just a Jinx with no summoners down here. Kick is trying to read the situation and come down to help. But this tower, at least if Fnatic wants it, they should be able to bully Unicorns Aloft away and get some damage on it. Dragon is not alive, but then you can just start roaming into the enemy jungle. Place a few wards, you have your Sidestone for Rek'Sai.
Keep an eye on the
even go and dive to mid lane.
Yeah, Featherman does have Destiny available. You can see Yellow Star's moving up. That was a great satchel from Power of Evil. I was half expecting Featherman to just shove the wave in and go bottom lane. Instead, it looked like Fnatic will be content taking the tower. 3,000 gold in the lead. It's Fnatic that are now the ones invading. Kickers throws the barrel out. He interrupts the tunnel. That means Reignover can't get out. He's got no flash either. He gets played backwards into the team, and I think he's going to be the sacrificial lamb. So the bomb goes out.
The snowball.
Super Mega Death Rocket and Mega Inferno Bomb in the same game. My brain cannot do this. Unicorns are not done yet. Here comes Chachi. He's going to run into the wall. Featherman was able to get away. No kills come from it, but all of a sudden, Fnatic are punished for an over-aggressive invade, much like Unicorns were a moment ago.
Only lost 1 kill for it, though. Could have gone a lot worse for Fnatic. Still has that TF ulti. Might just wait for Hooney to have his teleport ready and then go for another 4-5-man dive and take a tower as well from Fnatic. It's very important when you play against Twisted Fate that you ward a bit different in the mid lane. You need to place wards above the wall. If you can see in the mid lane here, the 2 bushes, you need to ward it on the side close to their tier 1 tower. So you can see him move down towards the river on both sides. And therefore you can try and spot if he's going for an ult, and you can call it beforehand and you can back away in the side lanes. There's 0 wards at the moment for Unicorns to spot where Featherman is going. So if he leaves the lane, you always have to call as a mid laner, well, Twisted Fate is missing, careful. And suddenly you cannot make plays just because you don't see Featherman on the map. He doesn't even have to trigger his ulti. Just by him waiting, that pink ward here from Fnatic is also really smart because it simply means nobody's going to see him.
Well, we'll find out whether or not Fnatic can make it count. It did look like they were gesturing towards the bottom half of the map. And what they had to kill thwarted the attempt, and Fnatic control vision on the bottom half. Something you also have to touch on is the fact that Fnatic have got so many damage sources. Their only real tank frontline is going to be Yellow Star, and that's a support. Reignover's gone for the Warrior Enchant. We'll need to see whether or not all of that damage, whether or not the damage can find the back line.
Yeah. Well, I mean, if you keep snowballing like this, you never allow the likes of Ascian and Gragas to really scale up and become these big tanks. And there won't be enough damage for Unicorns Aloft with their 2 damage dealers to do anything, and they're just going to basically be killed when the fight starts. So it's always one of the answers to this double tank meta is, can you play the early game aggressive enough, and do you have to comp to pull it off? This situation, Fnatic does have to comp. There's so much dive in and so much CC. Top lane tower now.
That was the least exciting teleport we've ever seen. You cannot flash away from the depth charge, and Yellow Star will find Power of Evil. Featherman will land the killing blow. Reignover even gets his hand on an assist.
They got to back away in the bottom lane here.
This teleport's available from Hooney. He's going to come down.
There it is.
Destiny was used. Let's look for the equalizer. Featherman does get caught by the death sentence and slammed by the fat man. First kill, he's going to get Vardax excited as the rest of the team is peeling towards the river. Now Vardax is on the board as Huni. Finn has been able to chase down for Huni. Vardax can't even channel Super Mega Death Rocket. Now they're going to chase down Vizichachi and Kickers. The tanks are not tanky enough. And the damage dealers of Fnatic will clearly win the team fight, losing only Febivin in the process. Fnatic 9-2 up and 6,000 gold at 15 minutes.
Unicorns of Love, they stayed and pushed their bottom lane tower here after losing Power of Evil. So Fnatic said, thank you very much. Let's take your top tower first and then just TP down and go 5 versus 4. Febivin gets caught in the study. Nice hook from Hylissang, but it's still in such a disadvantage. There is the remainings of Power of Evil. And Fnatic really punished the Unicorns of Love here, and they're not looking to slow down.
Oh, Vardax did manage to get himself a kill on the board. 1 and 2. He's even on CS, but the problem is he's so far down on the power scale with that Jinx. He's going to need a lot more time to ramp up before he can impact this game. Fnatic in a great position, playing a mid-game team comp, much like their regular spring split, and now we need to see whether or not they can maintain this lead and close the game out.
Febivin shows himself on the top side with no ulti for a few more seconds, so Unicorns will at least be allowed in the river to try and clear out these pings. It's been there for quite some time for Fnatic, and they've used it to try and set up the Twisted Fate ulti. He will be ready for Febivin. He can move in, or he can just try and trade it for a tower. Keep extending your goal lead if you're Fnatic. Nice little hook onto Reignover.
Oh, body slam connects from Kickis, but nobody else follows through.
Febivin is coming as well now.
Does have Destiny available if he wanted to.
Just go push mid.
Up.
I mean, Unicorns of Love had just gone all the way down to the bottom side. You take the wave here, you just take a free tower, then you go back to that dragon and you didn't lose anything from it.
Well, it looks to be the case. Take a look at Chachi. He's down in the bottom lane. Mega Inferno Bomb just to wave clear. Febivin takes a couple turret shots more than he was hoping. Vizichachi is moving up through the river. Keep in mind, Scuttle Crab belongs to the Unicorn, so they've got some vision control in the next few minutes. Both teams setting up for an engage. Fnatic with the item advantage, thanks to their gold lead.
Item advantage and the composition as well. Affinity Edge already for Sivir. You got the early magic penetration for Huni. He just hit level 11. That's very important. Got rank 2 ulti. You don't want to fight Fnatic at this point if you're the Unicorns of Love, but you're already so far behind, you might not even have a choice, because there's no tower you can try and trade for the dragon. Then you would have to push in the top wave, and that's going to take way too long as you're already stuck down here. They look to just try and go for something.
Hook, and it does connect. Hylissang's going to follow through. He flays them backwards, but that's a defensive equalizer from Huni. Reignover secures the kill credit onto Hylissang. Now Huni and Reignover running onto the backline. A steal back destroys Kickis. Depth charge will follow through, knocking up Power of Evil and Vardax. Daylor cold as ice as Fnatic are rampaging across the backline. Power of Evil's getting run down by Reignover. Red buff is ticking. Prey Seeker seeks his prey. Knocker onto Vardax, and Reignover will get himself a quadra kill. Fnatic take the Baron. Dragon, rather.
Take the fight, Trevor.
In a fantastic position to even up the series.
Yeah, they're going to get everything. I think, honestly, this Unicorns of Love knew they couldn't really fight, but they were fallen so far behind, they had to try and go for something. So as soon as Hylissang landed the hook, they just went for it. I mean, they feel like, okay, there's nothing else we can do. We're right. It is a Hex Stringer, so there's a bit more damage coming, but we're this far ahead. Why not? You're going to have one-on-one potential against anyone as a Rek'Sai this early in the game and this far ahead. All right, replay. Well, I feel like we kind of covered beforehand. Unicorns, they try and go for something. Desperate move. Backfires.
Did not work out at all. Reignover, quadra kill on the board. We had expected him to go tank, as is standard on those junglers. But
I mean, we've only seen a Hex Stringer. And now he's a tank. It doesn't even matter in this case for Reignover, just because they are 10,000 gold ahead at 18 minutes. So
is that all?
He can do whatever he wants.
Yes, that's definitely the case.
He's a grown man, Trevor. You're not his father. Don't tell him what to do.
2-0 on Dragons, 3-0 on Towers, 11 kills in the lead. This is closer to the bloodbath style of game we were actually anticipating. However, it is heavily in favor of Fnatic. We still need to see them push past those inner turrets. Let's keep that in mind. Yes, they've got a massive lead, but they now need to start pushing deeper into enemy territory,
right,
and making sure their vision follows suit.
what has been the difference here for Fnatic in terms of composition? Last game they had Vladimir Cassidy, 2 slow scaling soul laners. Here you have Rumble, main champion for Huni, and a beast in the mid game. Febiven on Twisted Fate to try and dictate the pace of the game already from level 6 and set up all these global picks that Fnatic are so good at finding time and time again. So they're a lot more aggressive in the early stages with this comp. Also taking Sivir away has been smart. It was a good pick for Vardex last game, and the Jinx, you know it takes time to scale up. So they just invested everything onto the early game and the mid game, and truly, truly paid off.
It definitely has, but they still need to get more. Until you're knocking on the Nexus door, this game is not closed out. We did see Febiven use that Destiny go to farm at the bottom lane. Just push the wave out, and it's something that we're expecting to see more of, seeing as they've got great global presence and pressure. We do, however, see Steelback arrive a little late to the party. Hey, that tower lasted a hell of a long time, dude.
It did.
We thought that was going to go down to Chachi, what, like 15 minutes ago?
Close to.
Close to. Ballpark.
A few more fights than expected.
Oh, come on.
Between.
Expected?
Okay.
Mega Inferno Bomb. Oh, look at the little carrot on the
That's an ugly snowman.
nose. It actually is quite an ugly snowman.
Pretty happy he died.
Props to our observer team. They followed, I distinctly remember Febiven's Xerath ultimate in slow-mo, and you saw the super cool like rotation animation from weeks and weeks and weeks ago. And it seems any long-range skill shot gets animated with a twirl, because that snowball twirled as well.
Today I learned.
Fnatic have slowed the pace down. It's official, they're not willing to push into those inner turrets yet. Still scared of the engage from a Scion and disengage from Gragas, respecting the possibility of getting outplayed. But you just have to feel it is a matter of time before they're confident enough to go for the inner turrets.
Yeah, Fnatic is simply waiting to push down these lanes here, get in and get these deep wards in the jungle of Unicorns, and just wait for them to make a move, because then you will instantly collapse onto them. Power Vivo with a little bit of a special on Ziggs with the Luden's Echo. It's an item he really likes on close to every single AP champion he can play.
Well, we'll see if it works out for him. We are seeing Yellowstar go on a bit of a jungle invade. We actually see Yellowstar's family in the house, supporting the captain of the Fnatic squad, the only remaining member. It's fantastic to see. Yellowstar is one of the biggest inspirational stories in League of Legends, seeing his transformation from Season 1 to Season 4. Finalist in Season 1. All World Championships, 5 consecutive splits. A poster child for healthy living and professional video games. And rebuilding a team as the only remaining member. I mean, is there anything this guy cannot do?
Pentacles.
Thank you, production, for letting us know his family's in house. And let's see whether or not the Nautilus pentakill can happen. Tafisha, do you want to get us back on track?
I just want to talk about this Luden's Echo.
Yes, back on track indeed.
For Power Evil, that is back on track for sure. He likes it because as a poke champion, if you only expect to land like 1 or 2 spells, not a full rotation, then the Luden's Echo is very effective because it will always proc, seeing as you obviously have to fire these spells here with quite some seconds in between. So it gives some very good poke damage on like 1 target. Reignover does not want to let us talk about Luden's Echo.
He does not, but he does not get caught out to the cost of his life. Flashes to safety. Not a lot of minions to work with in the bottom lane as one more line starts to conga its way in. Power of Evil and those bouncing bombs. And decimating smash. And Unicorns have... Honestly, they've successfully stalled for 6 minutes. Fnatic gonna peel away, set their sights on the next dragon. 30 seconds before it spawns.
Yeah.
Continuing to farm their way up.
So while the Unicorns managed to slow down the game, it's also because Fnatic has not tried to force anything. They've been waiting for key items themselves. They want to get that Hourglass on Huni. They have now completed 2 items on both the AD carry and the mid laner. So they've simply said themselves, we don't really have to close out the game in 25 minutes. We can wait and just secure it completely because you don't want to risk anything. I mean, Fnatic against Unicorns of Love. Last time they played, the Nexus refused to die twice, even though Fnatic was so far ahead. They didn't kill the Nexus. It was down to like, what, 50 HP. And then Unicorns of Love managed to get to late game and turn the whole thing around. Yellowstar, funny enough, even played Nautilus and tried to kill that Nexus. So now, I feel like they're just saying, we can wait for a few items for Dragons because we got 3-0. We can even set up a Baron. force Unicorns into a fight and not risk making any over-aggressive plays.
I completely agree, and I think when you take into consideration the Spring Split final is on the line. You're down 0-1 in the series.
I mean, you don't want to wait too long, though.
You want championship points. You want a spot in MSI, and I do agree with you. If you give Jinx, Ziggs, and the Uber tanks time to get Uber tanky, there is outplay potential, but they are still 9,000-10,000 gold up.
Yeah.
This is actually uncharacteristic Fnatic. When they've got an aggressive team comp that can get in your face, they do it. It's how they've won their games. It's how they've got the most kills, the most assists. It's their play style. And we need to see what the trigger's going to be. Will it be a Baron push? Will they try pull Unicorns towards them in the pit and then force a team fight with Sivir and TF?
Just set up Baron now. Set up Baron with like double or triple pink ward around it. So you know there's zero vision for Unicorns of Love. And then you just set up this situation where Unicorns always have to think, oh, are they on the Baron? Do we have to come and check? Do we have to like walk into our own jungle and risk being engaged on? Because Fnatic can always pop the ulti from Twisted Fate and see everything. And then suddenly a fight starts. Or will Fnatic just get the Baron for free and then they can use that and the buffed up minions to really push into the base? I mean, there's good wave play because there's a Ziggs. People hate that champion because of his wave player. Power Weaver still with the Loot and Echo. That's normally the build you have if you're trying to snowball yourself and you get to siege and poke, because again, then you land like one Q to proc the Loot and Echo. That's a lot of damage on one target. If you want to defend, Death Cap would have been better, because then you get more damage for your minefields, which is needed as well when you clear these waves. And you're very often just going to focus your damage on them.
Every time you want to talk about items, a fight's about to break out. Huni this time.
Oh, we just talked about that one.
That's going to be a great equalizer. Locks up the Unicorns of Love. Featherfit does manage to Destiny into the back line, and Hylissang is trying to do what he can. They've traded 2 for 1, and Vardax is still yet to be untouched. Death Sentence connects onto Rainover, but he's going to get dropped by Vardax. I think, no, he's managed to get away. Vardax flashes him forward, firing rocket after rocket. Gold Guard will stun him up. Rainover and Featherfit now zoning away both Hylissang and Vardax. It ends up being a 3-1 trade. Vardax almost taken out by the wild cards. I thought Rainover was going down for sure. He managed to get out with his life. Fnatic finally finding the engage opportunity, and they punish the Unicorn.
We talked about this, setting up the Baron with multiple pink wards, so you know the Unicorns will have to walk in and check if you're doing it. That's what happens here. They're fighting in a good spot for them as well. You got the Twisted Fate AoE, you got the Rumble AoE onto multiple members from the Unicorns Club, and they are still so far ahead that they will win these team fights every single time. They did just drop a little bit too low to start the Baron, but then you just go back and you set up the exact same play as before, because you still got those pink wards, and you wait for Unicorns to come in and you get round 2.
A lot of damage getting put down from Vardax. Oh, those wild cards so close to hitting. Fnatic though, 1 for 3. It took 10 or more minutes for that to happen. But they seem to still have vision control, so they may look to rinse and repeat. Destiny, depth charge on the hunt, almost available once more.
Yeah, no TP for Chachi now. He used it before, so suddenly the bottom lane can be pushed in by Huni. The minion wave is going to slowly group up and get into that tier 2 tower. Fnatic back. The same play. Gotta clear that one ward here in the bush. They should expect it to be there. See if they're just waiting for Sweeper to get off cooldown. Yellowstar. A few more seconds, and he should be able to get it. And then only the Scrying Orb can save the Unicorns of Love. And I guess the ulti from Ziggs to try and check if anything is going on. But you need that to win the team fight at this point as well.
Kikis was toying with fire there. Realized he had no vision in the river and had
sweep that bush.
That was a good wall.
You know it's there.
I got stuck in. Will they kill it eventually? Let's see. Sweepers. There is one available for Yellowstar. He's opted not to do it. That's a barrel onto Huni, but he didn't go the right way. Now Kikis is a little bit aggressive, realizing the Lantern was available from Hylissang.
And now you know they can see you, because they have not walked in other than Kikis only showing himself. The rest of the Unicorns haven't moved. Now they sweep it out. Realize, oh, we've been standing on this ward for the last minute.
Peekaboo, Unicorn.
Suddenly the bait starts.
Is that Chachi? Unstoppable Onslaught does not connect. Did you see the Lantern? Now let's see. Teleport to the back line. Huni gets a great equalizer. Gonna be splitting up the Unicorns of Love as the depth charge knocks him in the air. The Mega Inferno Bomb goes down, and Vardax is shut down. Huni with a double kill. They turn Chachi in his passive. Now Rainover continues to zone away the members of Unicorns of Love, and Featherfin is looking for Power of Evil, not even needed. We do see the Void Rush going out from Rainover towards the Baron. Fnatic, 3 more kills on the board. They're going to set themselves up for a 29-minute Baron. Kikis is trying to be kept away here by Yellowstar, doing a great job of it. There's no Mega Inferno Bomb. There's no steal this time round. Unicorns 13,000 gold down. Fnatic playing the bait game fantastically.
Run, Kikis between two towers.
I don't think he'll get away.
Oh, he's
Rainova's going to be able to find out. Yeah, Precy.
Oh, can he?
Blue buff keeps him up.
Oh, the zone.
Minefield, and Kikis is going to get away. Oh, body slam over the wall, and Kikis. I was not a believer. I was not a believer. Power of Evil defending his teammate's life. 13 minutes to Fisher, 20 kills to 4. 3 dragons to 0, the 4th one available. And there's no ways Unicorns can even think to contest. But maybe they will.
I mean, I guess you can... No, Kikis is no flasher. I mean, you can send him over the wall, maybe try and smite steal, but Fnatic has slowed down, but they played around the Baron once. They felt like we have the right items now. I mean, Huni had his Hourglass completed. Twisted Fate has been out of control for most of the game, even though he's only picked up 1 kill. Febiven has been farming really well. He's been everywhere he needed to be. And Steelback has just been getting all the kills.
Well, I have to tell a quick story that I was talking to Daylor yesterday as we were going up for lunch. And I said to him, I sincerely hope your team plays as you did in the regular split. You see some action coming up back and forth. And do you see on the hunt going down? Here comes Raynov. He's jumped onto Hylissang. Vardex is off from the sideline. Equalizer not going to get too much damage onto the carry. Hylissang still alive and burning. Now Chachi trying to zone everybody. Goes golden. Huni stays alive. The Super Mega Death Rocket flies wide, but Huni gets shut down. Vardex is excited, landing rocket off the rocket. We see the Luden's Echo bouncing across. Vardex continues to chase. He's also got red buff. Red buff will be slowing Febiven down. He'll continue to chase away. That's a slow Raynova. Raynova does not have flash available. Zap does connect Vardex, looking for more. Remember, he's still got red buff to slow it down. The tunnel comes out. The flash into the shutdown. Unicorns of Love pick up kills on the board. And what Daylord said to me was his team was not going to play aggressive. His team was not going to play dangerously. And in that moment, they did.
Didn't they just dive 2 towers here and even went for the support at first? Look at this. The ult from Yellowstar is on Hylissang, not on Vardex. He was supposed to be the target. And now they're dancing in between both the inhibitor turret and the tier 1. So it takes so much damage and simply cannot keep chasing. Doesn't even get the tower. And Unicorns of Love gets a few kills, very important onto Vardex, but they need more of these kind of fights if they want to get back in the game.
Especially when Huni's equalizer was on a hook onto, or a catch onto Hylissang. Huni cannot afford to use that ultimate when it is not connecting
Point
Vardex.
and click from a Nautilus on the support as well.
Needs to be connecting on Power of Evil, needs to be connecting on Vardex. Otherwise, exactly that team fight can happen. Look, it is a few kills on the board. Unicorns are going to need 2, 3 more times. Those fight. Let's try this again. They will need that fight 2 or 3 more times to get themselves back into this game. Words are hard.
So will Fnatic say, we wait for the last dragon, or was this just a misplay, and we go back to grouping as 5 or 4 with the Twisted Fate having ulti in just a few seconds? So 4-man on the bottom side, TP for Huni as well. Just spread out the map. And if Unicorns want to fight, we instantly collapse with our globals while we wait for that dragon, because we're going to get number 5. We know Baron is going to spawn around that time as well. They have really been slowing it down.
But this is Fnatic taking the foot off the pedal. Yes, you know, Unicorns have been wave clearing. They've got a lot of it. But Fnatic have not aggressively pushed an inner turret at all. And the one opportunity they had a moment ago, they opted to dive Hylissang. So let's see what Fnatic decide to do. They're still 13,000 gold up.
Yeah, again, that's the thing.
It's still a massive lead.
Massively, they played that early game so well. We just saw Unicorns of Love never had any answer to the plays from Fnatic, the quick decision-making from Fnatic. And that's one of the things the analyst desk was talking about, how Unicorns of Love doesn't have a shot caller. It's all 5 guys trying to make calls, and it can be very tough if a lot of things is going on at the same time. Where Yellowstar, of course, is the main shot caller for Fnatic, saying, okay, boys, let's get some kills.
Well, this time round might be one of more patience, I feel. Yellowstar, the most seasoned player on this stage. You can even put an argument, the most seasoned player in the LCS in Europe. Fnatic are finally going to get their 4th tower of the game. It has taken over 20 minutes since their last tower was secured. You might make that 2 quick successions. Take a look. Teleport up for Huni. Destiny available for Febiven, as well as Void Rush from Rainover. So they're leaving their 2 global solo laners in the respective lanes.
And just going back now, waiting for that number 5, or the Dragon number 5, for themselves. Don't want to risk anything if you are a Fnatic. The thing is now, with Twisted Fate, if he's not in the lane where Ziggs is, he will slowly just take down a tower. He has Lich Bane, wildcards and everything. So as long as you don't put Febiven where Power of Evil is, you can continue having the 1-3-1 and you will slowly but surely you will get down the last few towers. So if they really don't want to take any chances, that's the way they have to play. Just move away from the Ziggs with your Twisted Fate and let him do the job.
I think it's a pretty safe assumption they're not going to take chances. At this point in time, 35 minutes gone, Fnatic have completely lost control of where the accelerator pedal is. But Dragon's coming up, 40 seconds. This is Dragon number 5. They may be forcing Unicorn's hand. Keep in mind, Baron is up as well.
That's the thing. One of the few things Unicorns can do to try and come back and see if they can trade a Baron for that number 5 Dragon, or give the Baron to Fnatic and get at least 1 Dragon for themselves. The problem is, Fnatic doesn't have to use 5 guys and take a Dragon. They can just have Febiven do it on his own, or even Steelback, and the other 4 guys sitting in mid lane, stopping Unicorns forever starting a Baron and trading it. So by them at least just staying around. Chachi, yeah, he's going to try and see if he can get a flank.
Trying to set up. Unstoppable Onslaught will be stopped by the wall. He finds no member of Fnatic, and that's a big initiation tool. Destiny comes out from Febiven. He manages to get the wild card. Here comes Huni. That equalizer does find its target. Vodax is shut down. Depth charge follows onto his opposite support. Power of Evil will get melted by the flame spitter of Huni. Febiven throws out the wild cards, and he does manage to peel away a Steelback. Solos out the tank of Vizicachi. Fnatic find themselves 3 kills on the board, and Hylissang may even be taken out by Dragon. That's a Void Rush just for Hylissang and the Dragon. The rest of Fnatic are in the mid lane. Chachi is down. Rainover, he wants the ace. The tower's going down. We will continue to follow this as the inhibitor will be an easy kill. Fnatic get themselves, come on, 5 kills. The turret, the inhibitor, most likely the 5th Dragon.
They get everything.
And maybe even the Baron.
Just what they needed here. A fight where Unicorns of Love were no longer standing at their towers, which they've been doing for the last many, many minutes. Dragon for them. Then you go over, you take a Baron. You have now everything in the world at your disposal to win this game, which technically has been won for the last 20 minutes for Fnatic.
Hey, again, it is in the series, so Deficio, he has the team fight again.
Well, Unicorns are spread out. They can't really handle the TP from behind.
Look at that.
The port in from Febiven as well. Just really well played from Fnatic, or well executed. And they get another ace, another Dragon, another Baron. Fnatic making sure we're not going to get a 3-0 today.
Well, let's find out once we jump out of the replay. So Dragon number 5 was secured. Super's down middle. Baron is available for contention. 20k gold down?
I would sit back in my base with my Ziggs and say, I'm just going to sit and wait for you. You can get that Baron. We can't fight you anyway.
Well, Deficio, you're not playing. Unicorns, they're
That's
actually going to sit near the Baron buff.
It would have been a horrible level if I was playing.
Maybe try to attempt this. Let's look at the minimap. Is there any response? A little bit of vision.
Well, it seems they agree anyway.
They are going to back away. Just took them a few seconds longer to realize this. Steelback's going to try interrupt the call. On the hunt, thrown down. Gold card comes out from Febiven. Vizicachi trying to get away. He will find the lantern. Hylissang will keep his top laner alive for a few seconds longer. Fnatic, 5 Dragons, Baron, Kikis. I don't really know if you want this fight. Equalizer goes out. Huni was down below. Kikis also saved by the lantern of Hylissang. And Huni sidesteps a death sentence. He can't get away from the Flame Chompers. Throws down the Hourglass. There comes a Mega Inferno Bomb, and Vodax gets himself a kill on the board. Super Mega Deathlock, it almost kills Febiven as well. And that might actually put a small stall on the siege.
Got to use some of the Ziggs poke and wave clear in their own base.
Look at Febiven.
I mean, I think we can all agree, as viewers, we are happy that Ziggs is back in the meta. It's been a joy watching his wave clear.
If you were saying that on any social media, it would be /S at the end of the statement. Febiven goes down to this bottom lane. 390 CS. We've not touched on the items at all, really. And every time you did, 15 minutes ago,
that's why I stopped.
So let's start this again. Let's talk about some items. We do see Lichbane, Hourglass, and Death Cap for Febiven. Almost working towards the Lichbane there for Power of Evil. He did get that Death Cap a while ago.
So Baron buff,
getting tankier.
5 dragons, and a Twisted Fate with Lichbane. I want to see how much damage he can do to a tower if he does get down. He's on his way. I assume the dragon buff might disappear before, sadly.
In an alternative reality, Fnatic are pushing a tower.
Oh, they are. That way.
There's no tower there.
It wasn't even meant as a bad thing. I just want to see the damage he can do.
We'll find out.
Come on, Febiven, go down to the tower.
Destiny's available. The rest of Fnatic was pushing the top lane. Look at all the vision and tunnels available for Reina.
Oh, he lost the buff just before.
Is he going to? Well, that's
a lot of damage anyway, and that's without the 5 dragons.
You got your wish. 2 or 3 shotting that way. Febiven will secure the 7th tower of the game. For the rest of Fnatic top lane, teleport is available for Vizichachi.
Vizichachi.
It's not like I've said his name for 12 weeks. And Febiven now bringing those Baron-empowered minions onto the bottom lane inhibitor turret. Rain over from the base and another shot. He's got more Malmortius to back up the Locket and the Hourglass. Febiven and Huni are just melting this turret. Here comes Power of Evil. Unstoppable Onslaught. He's going to get flashed away. We do see the wild cards go up and they go wild. Don't manage to connect on anybody. Huni overheats and he's got his hands on Equalizer still. Not needed yet. With all the members on the bottom half of the map, will Fnatic get anything top? The box goes down. They're trying to focus Huni. He flashes away from the decimating smash, and Hylissang does not connect with the skill shot. They do connect with Fardax, and that is a legendary kill onto Steelback. They turn their attention to the Nexus turret. Double kill. What can Steelback do? He continues to run rampant, dealing damage to the towers. It's actually Huni that gets the bottom turret. Inhibitor down top lane. Fnatic got super minions. They're now on the Nexus after 42 minutes. It was slow going. And slow and steady wins this race. And Fnatic even up the series 1-1.
So Daylor was telling the truth when he said we're not going to play too aggressive. We're going to play really, really safe. Very clear what the shot calling was here for Fnatic. It's like we have a massive lead. We should not be able to lose at this point, so let's just take it easy. Secure every single objective we can. Take whatever fight Unicorns might offer us, and then